Hello! Today we're going to be learning Poplar Street by Glass Animals, and we're going to jump right into the lesson. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is this entire riff. I'm only going to teach the riff. I know there's like kind of guitar parts throughout the rest of the song, but I don't know. If you're looking up this lesson, this is what you want to learn. You don't care about the other parts. And if you do, I don't know, look up some tabs for it. So the entire riff is going to be built around just one chord, and it's going to be this G shape major chord. So if you know like your cage shapes, for example, and you know what the G shape is, E shape, A shape, everything like that, it's just based on this G shape major chord. So right, it's played like that, and I hope you can see my fingers, but it's essentially this. This is the general shape for it. Right, so the entire riff is just built around this chord. And then this chord just moves up. Technically, this would be a D major because this is our root note. And then when we move it up, it would be an E major because this 12th fret is our root note, right? So 10th fret and 12th fret. So, like I said, the entire riff is built around those two chords. It'll make it a little bit easier to remember if you just remember those two chords. So that anytime you want to play the riff, as long as you could remember those chords, it should come back to you pretty quickly. So we're just going to start the first part of the riff where we're going to start just learning that part. The first thing we're going to play is we're going to play the 7th fret on the low E string. And then we're going to 9 of the D string. Then we're going to do a mini bar on the G and the B string. And that's also on fret 7. And you're immediately going into a hammer-on. So you're not playing this. You're going. Right? And the hammer-on is from 7 to 9. And then you're going to pull off. So we're hammering on. Right? So we're going. And our next move, once we pull off, and we're going, so we pull off back to fret 7 on the G and B. Then we're going to 9 on the D string. We're going back. Right? So we're back to 9 on the D. And then back to 7 on the G. Right? So that's going to be our first section, right? So we're sliding over with our index, and we're sliding over with our ring, and we're ending up on the 9th fret of the A string. And then we're playing this, finger style pattern. But really, when we get to this part, you could think of it as this chord. I'm just not throwing my pinky down right away because I don't need to, right? So I'm just playing this part first. And that pattern is just A, D, G, D, G. A, D, G, D, G. So. All right, so once we play that, we're just going to walk down, so D, A, and now we're going to put our G-shaped major chord. We're going to put the full chord on. And we're going to play with our pinky, that low E string on the 10th fret. So from here we're going D, A, and then 10th fret on the E string. And once we get there, we're just going to strum the chord, right? So we're, just to play it slow. Right, so for that, we're just one down strum. Now, once we end on that chord, on that down strum, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick each individual note. So we just strum the chord. Now all we're doing is we're just picking, and we're gonna do all down picks, so I wouldn't alternate pick this. You could kind of think of this as sweep picking, it's not really. But I'm just down picking every note. So I'm down picking E, A, D, and G. Right? We're not hitting this B string. We're just going E, A, D, and G. All right, so once we end up picking all of the notes, then we're just going to move that chord shape up. Right? So we have our G-shaped major chord, and we're on fret 10. We're just going to slide up to fret 12, but we're keeping the exact same shape, right? So nothing's changing. I'm just taking this shape and sliding up 2 frets. So for the last part of the riff, you're just going to do the same thing you did on this chord, where you just picked out each note. You're going to go here and do the same thing. So E, A, D, and G. Right? So that's the whole riff. I'm just going to play through it slow, just so we could really get in the habit of, getting comfortable playing it. Something you guys might have trouble with when you're trying to play this riff is when you're playing this G-shaped major chord, sometimes it's hard to get your pinky rounded enough, and you might end up muting this string if it lays too flat. So what I'm doing to help my pinky stay rounded is I'm just taking my thumb from, this position higher on the neck, and I'm sliding it back. More under the neck. So the further I do that, the more I could get a good bend in my pinky, so that I'm not muting this string, because I want every note to ring out. So my thumb is like far back behind the neck. If I slide it here, my pinky goes flatter, but the further back I move it behind the neck, it makes it easier for all the notes to ring out and to keep my pinky rounded. So if you're having trouble and you feel like that note keeps getting muted, just try bringing your thumb from, maybe it's resting right on the side of the neck, try to slide it back under the neck, and that'll give you more, more room to have your pinky rounded. So that's just a tip for that. And just to go over it one more time, in case I wasn't super clear throughout the lesson, when you're playing this chord shape, this is just a major chord. So this chord is the same as when you just play a normal major chord. And I'll put the chord diagrams up for this chord, but all I'm doing is I'm playing the general shape, and I'm going to talk in terms of fingers, right? So on the E string, I'm using my pinky, right? So that's position 4. Then I'm playing, no, that makes no sense. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about them in terms of frets. So just to go over this G-shaped major chord again, when I'm playing it on, let's say I'm playing a D major, so I'm starting on fret 10. I'm going 10 on the low E, 9 on the A string, and then I'm just barring the 7th fret on the D and the G strings. And also, you would do the B, but we're not playing it in the song. So just in case I didn't go over, that chord well enough, that's just a short explanation, but I'm also putting the chord diagrams in the beginning of the lesson, so feel free when you get to those, just pause the video and, take your time to figure out the chord. In this case, it's pretty easy because there's only one chord that you have to learn, and you'll use that chord that's the only chord you're going to be using for the riff. So all right, so that's the entire lesson. Like I said, I'm just going to be doing the main riff just because there is guitar and the rest of the song, but I don't think it's that interesting. Feel free to go in and try to figure out what it is yourself, or you could look up some tabs on it. But I figured I would just stick to the main riff, keep the lesson nice and short, and just give you guys, what you wanted to learn. Because when I learned this song, that's all I cared about was that main riff. So hopefully that lesson was helpful. If you guys have any feedback for me, just let me know in the comments. But good luck. And if you guys are having trouble at all learning it, also let me know in the comments. I could definitely help you guys out if there's some parts that are tricky or there's some sticking parts about the lesson that you didn't really understand. Just let me know. But, good luck learning it, and, let me know if you guys are having trouble with it. All right, see you next time.